I'm recording this conversation.
Oh, okay.
I'm not getting no pictures though.
Oh,
I'm trying to find out a little bit more about the Stewart County delegated land between the lakes area.
like,
Like in 1999, it was taken over because TVA was running it up until 1999. It was turned over to the Federal Forest Association.
right.
I was under the assumption that within the past 3 or 4 years, it's left hands again, and it's no longer the Federal Forest Association, that now it belongs to somebody else in control of it. Is that correct or
I don't
incorrect?
know. See, everything in the federal is, they pay us lieu of taxes, so see, we don't know any back. They don't have a transaction that comes through this office. Like, if you sold me your house, you would register and it would come down here to me, then we change hands, but with federal property, we don't.
Well, who would
You
know?
probably have to go to Golden Pond in Kentucky.
Over where their administration is?
Mm-hmm. That's where I would say you have to go.
I don't know if that'd be wise or not. I've had a conflict with them up there. Yeah, I've had a pretty bad
Because
conflict
see,
with
we
them.
don't do anything with federal, like Fort Campbell, they just pay lieu's of taxes to, like the LBL, Fort
It's
Campbell.
part of Fort Campbell in Stewart County?
Uh-huh.
How much of it? Just a quarter of it, a third of
Let
it?
me see if I can find that. Hold on. I don't know how old. Let's see. And I don't know, this is a long time ago. And they bought some since then. Fort Campbell is about 25,750 acres in Stewart County.
In Stewart County, 25,000. And that
Yeah.
would be on the northwest end?
Well, yeah, there's Big Rock area, Highway 79.
How do you get there from here?
You can't. You're talking about to their land?
Yeah.
And then I know down
Isn't there a back way that you can go back there?
I think you go through, is it Old Lafayette Road? I don't
Yes,
know.
yes, that's
I
it.
think depending on,
If it's open or not.
maneuvering or whatever.
Yeah.
And
In other
then-
words, it is considered, what do they call that? High something to where you're not supposed to be on there unless you got permission to be on there.
Or something, I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
And LBL, there's probably about 71,000 acres.
In Stewart County.
On our side.
So that's 3 times as much.
And then wildlife's about a little over 9,000.
Is that off the Tennessee River
Wildlife would be out,
from Cumberland? In between both?
between, can you think? With the wildlife refuge, and then it goes all the way up to Elk Harbor, all up in that part there. And then TVA, it's probably about 27,000. Corps of Engineers about over 8,000. We have a lot of federally owned property.
You do, don't you? As far as personal real estate,
Our county would be a big county. And then Fort Donaldson National Park, so it owns.
several hundred acres.
This is 1,200, but they bought several since then, so I say they have about 1,500 acres.
Fort Donaldson does, the park? The state park? And y'all don't really get no money at all off of that, do you?
Well, they send it in lieu of taxes, so Washington is like all over the state, so they give you and that's in the
Chunks.
trustee's office, and what they give, I don't know.
I see. So this is a completely different run community in this county because of the association with so many different state and federal entities. In other words, y'all don't get run like every other county,
They
do you?
run LBL was
Of course, you got a guaranteed check, don't you?
and
It may not be as much as what some counties would
Right.
receive, but you got a guaranteed check
Yeah,
at the
and
end of the
everybody
year.
likes, like, you can get more, but the Washington's just gonna give you a certain amount that's just the way it is. I can't change that.
Sure.
I mean, and then, but you think cause I was in the 4th grade, I think, when my grandparents come out of LBL.
So your people got run out? They did, back in the sixties? Have you ever heard the rumor that Kennedy, had a great deal to do with the final buyout pertaining to running people out of that area?
No, they was right there at South Welcome. After you pass South Welcome, there's a little road, then you went to Reeves over there.
Huh. You ain't never heard nothing about the Kennedys being associated with that, with the LBL?
I'm not a big history buff, so I don't.
They actually had a piece of property up north towards Grand Rivers, and that they attached to investment towards like a big duplex. And of course, I don't think that materialized near as much as what they was hoping that it was back in that time. But there was a lot of hurt feelings pertaining to what went on whenever they run everybody off. And I think it was, 1974 before they got all of them off there? It like took 7-8 years.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that live down in there, and I know they've had several meetings over it, but if you know where Barrett's service station is?
Yeah.
Gary Barrett. If you're
Okay.
ever in there, ask Gary Barrett. They live down there, and that's where the Barrett service station was there, and then they moved here.
Okay.
It seemed like to me they built that house in, let's see,
Had to have been after the buyout.
it was, but now he could tell you all about that LBO down there. He was a ranger down there. It was, let's see.
Whenever they have troubles in the LBL area pertaining to law enforcement, do they hold federal court here in this courthouse?
I don't have a clue.
You ain't never heard of them having federal court here? With a federal judge?
That would be upstairs, court would be upstairs.
Would it?
1967 is when they built the house for, when they got run out of LBL. So, I would say, or at least, that's when
And that's on the Tennessee side, right?
No, right down here, the Barretts, that's when they built that house, so I would say, like you say, early, late 60s when because the Barretts had a service station in LBL, my understanding, and then they come down here and built this one, they built the house. And
Well, someone said something about a big lawsuit going on right now with some family up in that area.
I don't know.
Yep. All right, thanks for talking to
I
me.
would say you'd have to go to Golden Pond to get all that stuff. But Gary, if you're ever down the LB, down at the Barrett Surf Station, ask if Gary's down there, he could probably tell you, because he was, worked for TVA police down there.
He did.
And then he was moved out from down, his family was, so he'd probably tell you more than anybody.
You wouldn't happen to have his telephone number, would you?
I don't, let's see, I'd say just stop down there. Which way you going? You know, it's right across from me.
Back towards Paris.
Yeah, I just stopped down there. It's at Barrett's. He's usually hanging around down there.
Okay, it's
Chris,
right there. It's right there at that turn off towards going into LBL,
Uh-huh.
right? It's right there on the corner.
Right.
He's got the corner lot right there.
And
And his name again is what? Barrett.
Gary Barrett.
Write that down. Gary Barrett. And he could probably inform me more about the
And
history.
then he worked down there for years. And then his son Chris runs Barrett's, but Gary's usually around there.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you.